Welcome to Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy, where we seek to educate, motivate, and inspire professionals into starting their own healthcare businesses. Learn from leading healthcare entrepreneurs and other business experts as they share their journey and provide a glimpse into their playbooks for success. Loaded with valuable insights and actionable strategies, this show will guide you on your path to freedom. Now, please welcome your host, entrepreneur, healthcare practitioner, and MBA, Jason Duprat.
This episode is sponsored by my free presentation for the Ketamine Academy. If you're tired of long hours, constantly being on call, or having to give up your nights, weekends, and holidays, all for an employer that only thinks of you as a productivity number that they're trying to maximize, then it's time to break free from the hospital grind, become your own boss, and finally take control of your professional trajectory. It's time you start your own practice. I know it sounds really scary, maybe even a little impossible. I get it. You got student loans, you're working tons of hours, and you may not even be a physician. Well, I am here to tell you that it's absolutely possible. Starting my own clinic was exactly how I started my healthcare entrepreneur career, and there's one specific type of clinic that almost anybody can open. Ketamine therapy is one of the most promising treatments in the fight against depression, PTSD, and chronic pain that we've ever seen. And thousands of patients across the country are looking for clinics in their area. The problem is that there aren't enough yet, and these patients need someone like you to open a ketamine practice in your hometown. Go to ketamineacademy.com/presentation for a no-cost 60-minute training on how to gain more freedom by opening up your own clinic. On the presentation, you'll discover why opening your own private clinic is a better decision than working more overtime or going back to school for another degree, why this one specific niche clinic is the easiest to open and doesn't require a bunch of cash to start, and how anyone can open this type of clinic, even if you're not a physician, by just following a few simple steps. So to register for this free training, just go to ketamineacademy.com/presentation. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy podcast. I'm your host, Jason Duprat, and we are back here for another Tactical Tuesday episode. And on these episodes, we keep it pretty short and we share information that we're learning from the operations of our business, things that we're learning from courses or from other entrepreneurs. And basically, we share that information, whatever we're finding helpful or any pitfalls that we're running into, we share that with you so that way you might be able to use it in your business and it might help you grow your business faster. But today I want to talk about creating online content to grow your business and your brand. And there is probably never been a better time to do this than right now. This whole COVID time period has created massive amounts of free time for people. You have people that are laid off, people that are unemployed, people that are underemployed, and people are consuming a massive amount of content on the internet. And actually, Forbes article says that internet usage has jumped by 70%, and streaming has jumped by more than 12% just in the first several weeks of COVID. So people are online, people are receptive to reading content, viewing content, listening to content, and you should really, really, really be taking advantage of this right now. Building content, there's 3 reasons why it's super important. And the first one is that building content, it helps you build relationships with future clients or customers. People only do business with those whom they know, like, and trust. And if they've never met you, they've never heard of you, they've never seen your face, they've never heard your voice, why in the world would they want to do business with you? You have to create content and get it in front of these people, these potential customers, these potential patients, and let them know that you exist. And there's research out there that shows the more familiar somebody is with you, even if they don't even like you, the more familiar you appear, the more they hear your voice, the more they see your face, the more they start to know, like, and trust you. When people start to know, like, and trust you, they're going to, whether consciously or subconsciously, prefer to do business with you. If they're going to be choosing between something you offer and something somebody else offers, they're going to choose to do business with the person whom they know, like, and trust the most. And building content is a great way to get that ball rolling and develop those relationships. And it's building a brand the entire time that you are putting out this type of content. And it's cheap. The cost of marketing on a large scale used to be so tremendously high. It was only limited to those who can afford it. You know, you have TV commercials that cost tens of thousands of dollars. The internet has completely leveled the playing field for those people who are willing to put in the work, because it's virtually free to do a lot of these advertising, the content creation advertising or marketing. And if you're wondering how to go about creating some of this content, what should it include? How do you put it out there? Why would people want to watch it? Well, it has to be focused completely on value. Whatever you're putting out has to be either entertaining or it has to be educational. And those are the two key things that you must have in any content that you have, either entertainment or education or a combination of both. And it has to be delivered in a way that's non-salesy, non-spammy. It has to be completely focused on helping the audience. And ideally, it's going to over-deliver. The audience should be viewing your content, listening to your content, and reading your content and thinking, wow, this is a lot of really good information. I normally would have thought I'd have to pay for something like this. That's when you know you're on the right track and you're creating content. Just one perfect example of that was when I had my ketamine practice in Albuquerque. I created a YouTube channel, and some of those YouTube videos are actually still there. We created just educational videos for patients. What are the side effects of ketamine therapy? What does the patient process look like as far as how to book an appointment? What happens once they get into the practice? I would make videos about research or consensus guidelines. Published quite a few videos, and it wasn't even a ton of work. It was, a couple of hours of preparation time, maybe at most. And then we published the video maybe one a week, one every 2 weeks, something like that. But consistently putting out content help us get more patients. So even if you have a brick and mortar business, this is super helpful. This isn't just for online businesses. It works very well for brick and mortar businesses because people were searching for information on ketamine. Our YouTube videos came up. They would watch several of them, get some free education on what ketamine therapy was, and then they would call our practice. Even if they lived across the country, we had people calling our practice and flying in and requesting that I did their infusions because they felt like that rapport was already established via the YouTube channel, and people and patients started to develop that know, like, and trust to the point where they didn't want anybody else to do their infusion but me. And I had never even met a lot of these patients. So this is a strategy that 100% works. And if you're not doing it, you are way behind the 8 ball. And pretty soon it's going to be coming to the point where those who aren't doing it they're just going to fail. Their businesses are going to fail because the competition is doing it. And they're getting essentially what is free leads, free customers, or free patients. Whereas those who aren't doing this are having to pay for leads, for patients, for customers. And so this is the only thing it costs you is your time. And obviously for some individuals listening, your time is worth a heck of a lot of money. But there's ways that you can sort of mitigate using too much of your time as well. For example, you can hire a blogger, say, to help you do some of the research or create a draft post based on some bullet points that you have created. So there's very important things that you can do to minimize the amount of time investment, and you can do that by hiring assistants to sort of help streamline the process of content creation. So when we're talking about content, some of the best places that you can create content are, I already mentioned videos, video YouTube channels, YouTube posts. Those are fantastic. Those work incredibly well for me. There's written blogs that you can put on your website, or you can blog in places like Quora or Reddit. I highly recommend, if you're going to be putting information out there, that you start with those platforms where you can own the content and you're not completely dependent on a third party to maintain your content. So things would be like owning your own blog website or posting your videos on your website, and then maybe also posting them to YouTube. Because if you're putting all your content on just one single channel, you are essentially sort of beholden to that specific channel. If they change the rules, if they go out of business and take down your videos, then you did all that work for nothing. So you should always put some of your content on places that you are in control of, like your website. So videos are great, YouTube channels, videos on your own website. Written blogs are great on your website or other websites. Writing ebooks is another great way to put out some content. Ebooks are typically shorter than your average book. You can probably get away with as little as 30 pages, or maybe even less, as long as it's value packed in your ebook. Also, vlogs. So video blogs, if you haven't heard that term, vlog, but it's essentially similar to what somebody would write down, except for it's in video format. You see those are getting really, really popular. And then podcasts, obviously. I love podcasts. That's why I do my podcast. Another great way to put out some free content and free value to your audience and nurture them to becoming hopefully future customers. And you really want to start doing this now. Now is the best time. People are inside because of COVID. You probably have a lot more time because of COVID. And this is going to be it's already starting to get to be a crowded place. All these different channels, social media, YouTube, they're already really crowded, but we're still relatively in, the infancy. Pretty soon, 5-10 years from now, absolutely everyone is going to have some sort of a channel that they're using to put out content for their income generating business, whatever it is. So now is the time to get in. Now is the time to start creating these pieces of content. And if you're wondering like the best way to do this, I would start by just start small, because it's going to take you, there's going to be like a little bit of a learning curve, and it's going to take you a little bit to get your first pieces of content out there. So if you just start with one piece of content per week, and the best way to do that is to put it on the calendar for your content creation time. It's exactly what I do with this podcast. We block off Wednesdays for content creation. It's where we do all of our interviews. In between interviews, we'll try to do these solo episodes. So that way it's all blocked, it's all condensed, it's batched. And the rest of the week I have available for all the other projects we have going on. So you want to put it on your calendar. You want to block off your calendar. If it's not on your calendar, it's probably not going to get done. And you need that in order to focus on consistency. Once you have that in your calendar and you are consistent repeatedly, then you're going to be well on your way towards accomplishing your goal of getting more content out there. So start with just one simple piece of content a week. The consistency is the most important thing. And when you put it on that calendar, try to pick a time where you are most energetic. So if you are most energetic in the morning, then you want to create your content in the morning. If you are most enthusiastic and energetic in the evening, try to do it in the evening. You want to do this stuff when you are most likely to get it done and least likely to come up with excuses or not be in the mood to do it. So now's the time to create content. I hope each and every one of you starts sooner rather than later, because if you don't, you will not have any chance at some point in the future, unless you have tons of marketing dollars, of having a wildly successful business. So I would encourage you guys to join the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy Facebook group. You can just go to Facebook and in the search bar, type in Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. It's the only group that's there. You can request to join. We have over 1,000 members now, and it's an open forum. You guys can discuss business. Not only do I post the live behind the scenes interviews that we're doing there, but we have conversations in there. So if you want to talk about anything about business, that's what the forum is open for. I had somebody message me and ask if they could post business discussions in there. And I said, absolutely, of course, that's what the whole purpose of this group is. It's for discussions and sharing content, sharing information with one another. It's not for spamming each other with your businesses, but it's for talking about marketing, talking about growth strategies, whatever, HR problems, legal things, whatever you want that's related to business. That's what that group is for. So I highly encourage you to join. And then I highly encourage you, after you listen to this episode, make a post about what you are going to be doing to create content and which content medium you chose, whether it was a blog or an ebook or a video, and share it in the group. And as long as it's adding value and not spam, it can stay in the group. That's what groups are for. They're for adding value, helping other people. So if you're a marketing expert and you want to share a podcast episode that might help a lot of other entrepreneurs about marketing, go for it. Put it in a group. Get a discussion going about marketing. That's what that group is for. So highly encourage you to use it. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode, and we will catch you on the next one. Have a great one, guys.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy. Want to connect with more like-minded healthcare entrepreneurs and professionals? Just head over to jasonduprat.com/group to join our Facebook family for real-time interactions, insight, and resources to get you one step closer to realizing your goal. We look forward to interacting with you, but until then, we'll catch you on the next episode of the Healthcare Entrepreneur Academy.